Jagrative. Jai Masters. There are two very distinct parts of your being. One is what we call the seer, the one who experiences the consciousness, the awareness of being, the one who knows that they exist, they know that they know that they exist, and they know that they know that they know that they exist. It's called self-awareness. You are self-aware. If I ask you, are you in there? You say yes. I've never, ever, for 45 years, asked anybody, are you in there? And they said no. Okay? Why? Because you are in there. And the very fact that you were able to understand that I asked you, are you in there, means you're in there. That's one part of your being. It is a magical part. We pay no attention to it. We take it for granted. What is awareness? It's unbelievable. We make a big deal out of objects, but if no one's aware of the object, it has no meaning. It's just the most meaningless thing in the world. But if you're aware, you're alive, you're real, you're sentient, you're conscious. So awareness is a magical thing. Awareness is not a chemical. Awareness is not on the periodic table. Awareness is not anything you can make, or no one's ever recreated it. How you like that? They can make the most sophisticated robots in the whole world. You know it's the most sophisticated robot. It doesn't. There's nobody home. If I go to the robot and say, how are you in there? We'd have to program it and say, yes. It's not in there. It's not conscious. It's not aware. This consciousness is magical. It's the most magical thing in the universe is I am that I am. The awareness of being. The knower that you know that you know that you know. That's one part of your being. The other part of your being is what you're aware of. It's really very simple. You have a body. If I ask anybody, do you have a body? You'll say yes. And I will ask you, how do you know? How do you know you have a body? How does one know that they have a body? You experience it. You experience having a body. Who does? You do. The same you that I said, how are you in there? If you hold your hand in front of your face, do you see it? How do you know? Because I'm in here and I see the hand. All right? And I'm going to ask you a very difficult question. It's going to get you very upset. If I hold your hand in front of me, you're looking at it, you say, I'm here looking at my hand. Cut it off. Not really, just for science sake. Cut it off. You still there? Yeah, but where's my hand? Okay, so you're still there. You were noticing hand, now you're noticing no hand. You're still you, aren't you? In other words, you are not your body. You are the consciousness that is aware of your body. How's that? When you were little, did you look like you look now? Were you in there? You are a conscious being. And one of the things that you are conscious of is what it's like to have a body. You are aware of that. Another thing that you are conscious of is what it is like to have a mind. People try to meditate. They say, I can't meditate. Why? Because I sit down, watch this carefully, every word I'm saying. I sit down, I try to make my mind shut up. It won't. It just keeps talking. And then my 15 minutes is up, but during the entire time, it's talking about how I'm wasting the 15 minutes, and I don't know how to meditate, I don't even know what I'm doing this for, and it's going on like that, and I get up, and I feel tired, and I feel terrible. You see, I can't meditate. Who was noticing all that? You just told me from a seat of witness consciousness that your mind wouldn't shut up. How do you know? Well, I saw it. Oh, and you even told me what it was saying. So you're really in there. And you watched a mind do something, didn't you? It's not about the mind or what it's doing. It's about you. It's about you who's in there noticing that the mind wouldn't shut up. That's called witness consciousness. I love when people say, I don't know how to get into witness consciousness. My mind just keeps talking. Witness consciousness is the one who witnessed your mind keep talking. You are in there. So you have a mind. How do you know? Because I hear it. I see it. Do you ever think things? How do you know? Has your mind ever forgotten somebody's name and tried to get it back, and it was like you didn't know what to do and it wouldn't come up and then it popped up? Yes or no? Have you ever experienced that? How do you know? Because you're in there and you're watching this happen. You would not know how to make your mind get a name back that it doesn't know. You just kind of sit there and hope it pops up. It's just something your mind does. What if it gives you the wrong name? You get embarrassed. How do you know? How do you know you get embarrassed because you called them by the wrong name? Because I noticed. Wow, you're something else altogether. So you notice you have a body, you notice you have thoughts going on in your head, and you notice you have a heart that emotes emotions, don't you? It can feel good, it can feel bad, it can feel love, it can feel disdain, it can feel insecurity. Yes or no? Anybody got those things or just me? All right? So you are the consciousness that is aware that these things are going on inside. You don't have to learn to be. You are already there. You are the consciousness that is aware of these things. So there's two distinct aspects of your being. The one that's conscious and what it's conscious of. And I don't care if it's conscious of a body, if it's conscious of a bunch of thoughts, or it's conscious of a bunch of feelings come out of the heart. All the same to me. If I hold up in front of you a painting, if I hold up in front of you a book, I hold up in front of you a CD, what's the difference? They're things I held up in front of you. To you, they're all the same. They're things you saw. It's all the same. That's what the Buddhists say. The third Zen patriarchy says the tens of thousands of things appear as one. Doesn't mean they're not separate, but you're not. So you're seeing a book, you're seeing a painting, you're seeing a CD. Seen one, seen them all. You are the consciousness, the awareness of being. Then there are these objects. So those are the parts of your being, the conscious awareness, and then that which you're aware of. And then you add to that, as if it's not confusing enough, there's this world out there. Yep, it's out there. Okay, are you aware of it? How do you know it's out there? How do you know there are other people in this room? Same way you know you have thoughts. Same way you know your heart hurt an hour ago. I am in here experiencing it. So the world is out there. It comes in. The exact same consciousness. There's only one of you in there. The exact same consciousness is aware that there's a person sitting over there and a painting over there, as there's a thought going on in here and there's a feeling going on in here, and there's my hand. When you go to sleep, do you ever dream? How do you know? I was there. I saw it. Is it the same you who saw your dream as the you who saw your hand, and the you who watched your thoughts when you were awake, and the you who felt your heart hurt, and the you who looks out through your eyes? The answer is of course. Otherwise, when you woke up, you wouldn't know what you saw. You actually experienced seeing the dream, didn't you? It's really neat. You're there. Eventually you will find out, but it will take you time, that you are always there. Always. There is never a time that you are not there. You are a conscious being, and the only thing that changes is what you're conscious of. It's very much like the sun. The sun didn't go anywhere today. Guess what? At night, it doesn't set. It just sits out there for 5 billion years, shining exactly the same for all practical purposes. It does not get colder in the winter, does not get hotter in the summer. It just sits out there doing its thing. You just sit in here doing your thing. You are as ever-present and as constant as that sun. Yet, because of the shadows, because of the turning of the earth, because of all these other objects that the sun shines on, we give all these qualities to the sun. It sets at night, it comes up in the morning, all right? The sun ain't going nowhere. It's just sitting there, shining, and yet it appears there's all these different qualities going on. Isn't that far out? All right? That is true of you. You are in there. You are always in there. If your mind is bothering you, then you say, I'm bothered. No, I'm watching something that's bothered. This is the difference that will change your life. If you say, I am bothered, you have identified with a mind that's bothered. But you're not. You're the one. Here, hold the picture in front of me. All right? It's all war. It's war. So I'm going to look at it. I have two choices. I'm looking at a picture of war. I am war. The picture of war is disgusting. I'm disgusting. You wouldn't say that, would you? You're not what you look at. Please listen to me. I'm begging you, all right? If you get this, it will change your entire life. This is what it's all about. If you understand, you are in there. You don't have to try to be in there. You are in there. And it is not true that when you're looking at a picture that's ugly, that you're ugly. or beautiful. Either way you want to look at it, okay? It is true that you are neither ugly nor beautiful. You're just there. You don't even have a face. You can look at your face in the mirror, but you're not looking at your face. You're looking at your body's face. Wait till it gets older. It won't look the same. You will be. You will know darn well that you used to look out through those eyes and saw something younger. All right? You are in there. You're in there when you sleep, you watch your dreams. When you're awake, you're doing these things. So the mistake we make, and it's a gross mistake, and it ruins our life, is just like you wouldn't say I'm ugly because the picture doesn't look good, or the glass is broken. You don't say I'm broken. You say I'm looking at a broken glass. If your mind is disturbing you, you say I'm disturbed. Wrong. It is no different than the broken glass or the picture that you're looking at. You are not disturbed. You are looking at a disturbed mind. If your heart hurts, you say, oh, I hurt so much. No, you do not. You are experiencing and looking at a heart that hurts. That difference will change your life. Because if you sit there and say, I'm disturbed, I'm broken, right? I'm just broken since he left me. I'm broken. I'm destroyed. No, you're not. But if you say that, you might as well be. If you sit there and look at your mind and say, I'm disturbed, you look at your heart, you say, I'm broken, you've just identified yourself with something you're not. You identify with what you're looking at. If you do that, there is no hope for you. Listen to me, because that's what everybody does. Don't feel bad. You're identifying. If you look at your body in the mirror and you like it when it looks 25, and you got a whole thing going about, that's me, that 25-year-old, good-looking, no-wrinkled person, all right? Well, you're going to have a big trouble when you start to be 50, 60, 70, 89 years old, because it's still going to be you looking at that thing in the mirror, but you identified with something you were looking at, and now it's not there anymore. And you suffer. That's why you suffer. You don't suffer because you got old. There's nothing wrong with getting old. There's nothing great about being young. Ask the young people. They want to get older. Ask the old people. They want to get younger. All right? It's ridiculous. So you are in here. You are neither old nor young. You are looking out through your eyes, and you are seeing the reflection of the body's face in the mirror at this particular point in time. It will go through lots of changes, but you will still be the same one who's looking at it. But if you identify with what you're looking at, which is what's happening, I'm so disturbed since he left me, and I just think I'm broken, you are talking as though you are what you're looking at. If you do that, there's no hope for you. Why? I told you there's two parts of your being. You made it look like there's one. Well, if there's only one, you got no help. Here, I'm disturbed. Okay, well, how do you become undisturbed? I'm disturbed. Go to your disturbed mind and ask it to be undisturbed. It will give you a very disturbing answer because it's disturbed. All right, if you haven't gotten it yet, the example that they always use in the really ancient scriptures is, I'm sitting on the bank of a lake. The lake, there's no wind, there's nothing. The lake is absolutely crystal clear. It's still. And I see my reflection. It's mirror clear, mirror still, and I see my reflection in the water. If a leaf falls in, if wind blows across, the ripples start, don't they? Do I then sit there and say, oh my God, I got rippled? I'm all rippled. I look terrible. Oh my God, what's going to happen to me? All right? And then when it settles back, oh, I'm back to myself. Okay, I'm okay now. You wouldn't do that. You sit there and say, I am looking at my reflection in the lake. The lake got rippled. I'll wait for it to settle down. I'll see my reflection again. It has nothing to do with me. That is what's going on. You are looking into the lake of your mind. And if your mind is disturbed, you're saying, I'm disturbed. It's not true. I am watching a disturbed mind. You should actually train yourself to talk like that to yourself. Why? If I am disturbed, there's nothing I can do about it, except maybe it'll go away someday by itself. Maybe someone will come and be nice to me. Maybe I'll win the lottery, the big super jackpot thing. I don't know. Maybe something will happen. I can't do anything. I'm disturbed. My heart hurts. My heart hurts. My heart is broken. I'm broken. I'm a broken person. Okay, maybe someone will show up and help me. I don't know, but I can't help myself because I've defined myself as what I'm looking at. Okay? If the ripples are in that lake, you can't make yourself look good again. Until it goes away, you're in trouble if you're identifying with it. So what I'm begging you to do is to change how you look at this and change how you talk about it to yourself. To yourself, you sit there and say, my mind is disturbed. My mind is bothering me today. All of a sudden there's a you and there's a mind. That gives you hope. Because there's somebody in there that can do something about it. Do you see the difference? You've maintained the truth, which is the separation between the consciousness and the object of consciousness. And let me tell you what you can do about it. We'll just get this over with right away. Let's say my heart hurts. I'm broken. I feel so down. Okay, well, good luck. All right? I'm noticing that my heart is not doing so well. Because you said it like that, I get to ask you a question. Is that okay with you? No, you don't understand. I just told you my heart hurts. I know. You said your heart hurts. My purse is broken. My car is scratched. Is that okay with you? Because if your car is scratched and it's not okay with you, you'll get all weird. If your purse is broken and it was your favorite purse and it's not okay with you, you'll get all weird and anxious because your purse is broken. But if you sit there and say, my car is scratched, my purse is broken, and I ask you, is that okay with you? Guess what you get to say? Yeah, it's just a purse, just a car. It's going to get scratched eventually. So I can be okay even though the car is scratched, right or wrong. I can be okay even though the purse is broken. But not if I'm so identified with that car that I'm freaking out because the car is scratched. So by changing how you deal with yourself and see these things, and sitting there saying, my mind is disturbing me. My mind is disturbed right now. Ever since this happened, my mind won't shut up. Okay, I understand how minds can be, but at least you left hope for yourself because you're in there. And what I want to ask you, and I want you to ask you yourself, once you do that, you say, my mind is disturbed. I want you to ask, is that okay with you? Because now you're talking to you. I'm not talking to your mind. I know it's not okay with your mind. All right? Do you understand? If something's disturbed, it's disturbed. It can't not be disturbed. It's disturbed. If something's white, it's white. Don't ask it what it's like to be blue. It doesn't know because it's white. Disturbance is always disturbed. Anger is always angry. Fear is always afraid. Don't you dare think that the battle is to make jealousy not be jealous, to make fear not be afraid, and to make anger not be angry. You'll spend your whole life trying to do that and just suppress and make a mess of yourself. A being who's got their act together sits there and says, sometimes I notice that some anger starts to come up inside of me. Just like I notice that there's chocolate ice cream. Just like I notice that there's clouds in the sky. Just like I notice everything else. It's just something I notice. Is that okay with you? Yeah, I'm okay with it. I don't mind. I don't give into it. I don't get involved in it. I don't let it overcome me. I don't freak out over it. It's just, it got weird in there. Sometimes my heart hurts. Is that okay with you? Sure. I've noticed it comes and it goes, doesn't it? Just like the weather. It's okay with you, it's raining. Better be, otherwise you're going to be weird. Right? So you just have opened an entire arena of raising your life by sitting there saying, I am the consciousness who is watching what the mind is doing, which isn't always nice, to say the least. I'm watching what the heart is doing, which can get beautiful or very ugly quite quickly, can't it? It can go from beautiful to ugly in about a billionth of a second. Just sit there with someone saying how nice you are and they really love you. And then all of a sudden have them say, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't. I thought you were somebody else. And see what happens inside, all right? And then come back and they say, I'm just kidding. I was just kidding. Of course it's you. And you watch it go up, down, right or wrong, okay? But you're the one who's watching. That is what is meant by being centered. That is what it's meant by being clear. All right? That is what it's meant by witness consciousness, mindfulness, becoming established in the seat of self. All of them are saying the same thing. They're saying, hi, you in there? Stay in there. And be aware that you're the one who's in here and everything else is something you're aware of. And then the question becomes, can you handle it? So if anger starts to come up inside and you see it and you're cooled in there, you say, hi, look at you. You don't give into it. You don't get involved in it. You don't blame somebody. You say, yeah, there's a time for everything. There's a season, time for every purpose under heaven. So sometimes there's anger. Sometimes there's insecurity. Are you okay with that? The moment you say yes, it's over. Now I'm okay. So by asking you this question, not do I like it, not do I not like it, Can I handle it? By asking you that question, I'm asking you to grow up. I'm asking you to realize you're in there. You're conscious. That's a gift. Say thank you. Would you rather not be conscious? Just boop, turn out the lights. No more experiences. Nothing. Which one of you would rather be in outer space floating through the black void of darkness with nothing happening around you for the rest of your life as opposed to experiencing some tough times here on the planet Earth? Not one of you. So you start to appreciate that you are a conscious being. You did not make yourself conscious, all right? You know, where's consciousness come from? Here's a bowl. Make some. Make it so the bowl knows that it's there. That's very funny. Not a chance in the world, all right? But you know you're there, and that's a great gift, isn't it? Being there, that's the greatest of all gifts, all right? When was the last time you said thank you? Last time you felt appreciation that you're a conscious being and you get to experience things? No. We're so lost in the disturbed mind that this is what's happening instead. The mind is disturbed. I'm lost in it. I don't feel good. I'm disturbed. I feel so anxious. I'm so uptight. You used the word I to talk about the disturbed mind. You didn't say, I'm experiencing a particularly disturbing moment in my mind. That gave you a chance to be okay, even though your mind is not. You said, I'm disturbed. So now the only way you're going to get not disturbed is to have what your mind wants to happen, happen. What happens when you don't get what you want? Gets disturbed. What happens when you get what your mind doesn't want? Gets disturbed, doesn't it? What happens when your mind gets what it wants? Woo-hoo! Not disturbed. You're just like looking at that lake. Whatever the wind or the leaf does, whatever makes the ripples, you have no control over it, but it runs your life. What spirituality is about is liberation, freedom, waking up and realizing, I am in here. If my mind is disturbed, I have to learn to deal with that. I have to be comfortable with that. I have to learn how to make it better, not disturbed. But not if my mind is disturbed, I'm disturbed. Now I have to go out there and do disturbing things. Oh my God. I'm going to make a mess. How can a disturbed mind not make a mess? Give me the most disturbed thing in the world, and I'm going to ask it, what do you want to happen so that you can express your disturbedness? All right? And I guarantee you, if it goes out there, I need to find someone. What kind of someone? Someone who's exactly the way I need them to be. My soulmate. I need to find my soulmate. And how do you define your soulmate? Somebody who knows exactly what to say when I need it said, exactly what to wear, what I want them to wear when I want them to wear it, exactly how to leave me alone when I want to be left alone. I want somebody out there to match my disturbed mind. And then my mind will stop being disturbed. In other words, I have to get what I want and never get what I don't want. Otherwise, my mind will be disturbed. You've just let the lowest part of your being run your life. And it will never work. It cannot work. A disturbed mind cannot go out there and manipulate people based on its disturbance and end up with something good. All it will do is disturb everybody around it, if you haven't noticed. So if you step back and sit there and say, my mind is disturbed at this time. This situation is happening, but I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm appreciative that I'm conscious. It's not a situation I would have chose, but at least I'm experiencing something instead of being in outer space and experiencing nothing. So you start appreciating the parts of your being that are natural to you. Once you start to hang out with you, it will all change. All of it. Instead of hanging out with a disturbed mind, hang out with a hurt heart, it is much easier, and it actually works, to sit there and say, I'm in here and I'm fine. Why wouldn't I be fine? I'm like the light that shines on something. It doesn't matter what I shine on, I'm the light. If I shine on something ugly, it didn't make me ugly, did it? I'm the light illuminating it. If I shine on something beautiful, that made me beautiful. Okay? If I shine on ugly for 300 years, never coming off, then I move off, I'm the same as I was never there. The light does not take on the quality of what it's shining on. Consciousness does not take on the qualities of what it is aware of. It's just aware. So you learn to work with the consciousness itself instead of the object of consciousness. How do you do that? By ceasing to define yourself as the state of your mind or the state of your heart. There's nothing wrong with saying, yeah, so-and-so left me. It's amazing. My heart's turning somersaults. What are you doing? Watching it. Well, that's a much better seat. I'd rather have you be sitting there watching the heart turn somersaults than be in there getting sick, because you're turning somersaults with it. You identified with it. If you're watching a TV show and it's not good, it's a horror movie, fine if you want to watch a horror movie. But if I ask you, how are you doing? You sit there and say, I'm watching this horror movie and I'm really scared. It's really scary. I'm feeling a lot of fear. Okay, that's you defining what's happening. I don't want to walk up to you and say, you're freaking out because you're watching a horror movie. You identified with it. You let yourself get sucked into the thing, and now you're not okay. So the answer is to wake up and realize you are always in there. You are watching the state of your mind. You are watching the state of your heart. You are watching your body, and you're seeing the world unfold in front of you. So what? That's your starting position. Is that okay with you? Guess what? It better be. Because that's what's happening. You are going to be in there conscious, because you're conscious, and you're going to watch your mind, you're going to watch your heart, you're going to see your body, you're going to see the world. That's what's going to happen for the rest of your life. So if you sit in the seat of self and you realize, I am me, that's who I am. If you will come to this state, you will find that two things happen simultaneously. One, you stop being as neurotic as you have been and everybody else is. Why? You're not panicking to try and get everything the way you need it to be so that your mind will say, I'm okay now. You're just in there noticing that sometimes the mind's okay and sometimes it's not, and who cares? It's just another thing to experience. What's a disturbed mind? Another thing to experience. Better than nothing. I tell you right now, if I sent you to outer space, you're just floating out there with black, nothing, empty space, and I make a roach fly by, he'd be the most exciting thing that ever happened to you. Wow, a roach. Oh, come here, roach. You'll make friends with a thing, all right? Start appreciating the experiences you are having. You're going to have lots of experiences in your life. They shouldn't be disappointing or appointing. They should be experiences. And when you become a clear being, then you are in here and you are experiencing the state of mind, heart, body, and world. And you are appreciative for that. And because you're appreciative for it, you're having a good time. I'm going to tell you a secret. Decide you like things. Makes life a lot easier. So if you get to decide, somebody said, well, do you like the new bracelet that so-and-so bought for you? I'm thinking about it. I haven't decided yet. Decide yes. Because if you decide that you do like it, you will feel much better. You'll feel, oh boy, I think you're perfect. I didn't realize what a perfect bracelet. It's exactly what I didn't even know I wanted it. It was just, oh my God, he must really like me and know me. Wow, you'd have a wonderful time. Decide you don't like it. It doesn't feel good. You are deciding everything. You can like it if you want to and not like it, right? So you start appreciating the experiences that you're having. But you can't do that when you're hanging out with the disturbed experience. You have to be willing to step back and realize, I am in here, I'm the one that's experiencing these things, and I want to learn. You want to learn something? Learn to enjoy all the experiences that you're having. I want you to learn to enjoy all the experience you already had. Because guess what? You're not going to change them. No, come on, I want to talk honest to you. How many of the experience that you already had throughout your life are you going to change? None. You can't change the past. So if you have a choice between appreciating, honoring, and respecting your right to have had those experiences and feeling good about yourself and feeling good about the universe and God and creation and everybody that you experienced and had interactions with, and feel appreciative that you got to have these experiences versus being all psychologically messed up and having to suppress them because you hate them. I can't think about mother or father or Uncle George. You understand that? And you got all that junk stored inside of you because you didn't like it and you don't want it. Typical Freudian psychology. Which way are you better off? Not even close. I need you to get to the point where you realize it's not even my past. I was in here conscious, and that's what unfolded in front of me. It's ridiculous to say that the universe is unfolding, and every place there is in the universe there's something going on, and my consciousness just happened to be standing at this spot, therefore it saw that, that's mine. That's not yours. There's something going on behind you, above you, to the left, to the right, everywhere, isn't it? It just happened to be what was going on in the universe exactly where you were looking. And you're going to let that run your life. That's the most random thing I ever heard of. Just say thank you. Thank you. Thank you for what? That I got to see something. Better not seeing nothing. You need to learn to change your attitude about your relationship with yourself and your relationship with the world and your relationship with the past, and you just sit there and say, what's the highest state? I am a conscious being, and there is a world unfolding inside of me and outside of me, and I am so grateful that I get to experience that. I would much rather experience a disturbed mind than no mind at all. I'd much rather have a heart. What was it, the straw man or the tin man? I never get that right. All right, the tin man. He really wanted to have a heart. Well, you got one. Wouldn't you rather have a heart than not have one? Even though sometimes it can break and sometimes it can feel pain, would you rather feel nothing ever? Just it's a hollow spot down there? Truth is, it's a beautiful thing to be able to experience the depth of music that the heart plays, whether it be positive or negative. But you have to be willing to honor and respect the experiences that you're having. Why? Because you're having them. You can't change the experiences you're having. You've had and you're having. And so basically you learn to appreciate and respect, and then what will that do? It will mean you don't suppress. You only suppress the things you don't like. You only struggle with the things that you say, I don't want that to happen. I don't want to have that experience. And then just go study Freud. If you push it away and store it inside of you, it rots in there, and it starts to run your whole life. Life becomes difficult. You start to see it everywhere, the things that bothered you, right? They remind you of it. Anybody know anything about that? The stuff keeps coming back up and bothering you. You did that by storing that stuff inside of you because you didn't say, okay, that was the experience I had. I got married, it was wonderful for a few years, and then he turned out to be a monster. What was inside of him? Then eventually we got divorced. What was that? It was an experience I had. Is it okay with you? You had that experience? It better be, because you did. I'm not saying I like it. I'm not saying I want you to have it, but it's the one you had. If you have that experience and you say, yep, there it is. That was quite an experience. It can pass. Now you can live the rest of your life. But if you can't handle it, you will not live the rest of your life. It will live it for you. You'll resent it. You'll never get married again. You'll freak out every time you hear the guy's name. You'll be weird, won't you? For the rest of your life. And that's just one divorce. You got a whole bunch of stuff in there, don't you? I'm begging you to realize there's nothing wrong with you. You're just the experiencer, and that's who you are. If you will identify with that part of your being and stop getting all involved in what you're experiencing, just let it go. Experience it, say thank you, kiss it on the head, let it keep coming and passing. Over time, two things will happen. One, you will stop being so disturbed. Why? You don't understand. The natural state of your mind is like a computer. It's there to serve you. It's not there to torment you. I'm a computer guy. I know darn well they don't torment you. You're the one who went to that part of the web. You're the one who asked that question. You understand that? You are doing things that are bringing up in that computer that are tormenting you. You're the one who stored all the ugly letters that anybody ever gave you, and you go back and read them at night. Your computer's not doing that. You did that. You made your computer into something that disturbs you. That's what you do with your mind. Some people say, why is my mind so disturbed? You took every single thing that ever bothered you and stored it inside of you. And now you wonder why you're disturbed. That's what you're doing with the experiences you had that you didn't like. You store them inside of you, don't you? Okay? You push them away, right? You keep them and you remember them, don't you? You remember 20 years ago something happened that was terrible, wasn't it? What are you doing 20 years ago? It's 20 years ago. Why is that still in there? So what you have done is broken your mind. You stored the garbage that bothered you. And so now you have a bothered mind. And I guarantee you, when you practice what I'm teaching you, which is stop storing, enjoy the experiences. Learn to, as much as you can, enjoy the experiences you had, enjoy the experiences you're having. Your mind will stop being so disturbed. Of course it will, because you're enjoying your experiences. You're not suppressing things. And then when things come up that you suppressed from before, all right, when they come up, let them go. What do you mean? Don't push it back down. Let go of this garbage that you have stored inside of your mind, and miraculously your mind will stop bothering you. It'll start, instead of saying, oh my God, what if it happens again? What if she calls me? I don't want her to call me. It was 20 years ago since you talked. I don't care. She could look me on Facebook. I'm not going on Facebook. I don't want to go on Facebook. I'm not going to the reunion either, because she could be there. I don't want to talk to her. When it starts doing that, just kiss on him. Mwah! Thank you for coming back up. Goodbye. Goodbye. I love that fight we had 20 years ago. It was one of my favorite experiences. I just like it to pieces. It helped me so much. Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye. I don't need this stored inside of me. If you are willing to sit in the seat of self and be you, and be just like you get your diet. How many of you, I don't know, I shouldn't ask it. How many of you haven't caught on yet that you feel better if you don't drink Coke and eat Twinkies all the time, breakfast, lunch, and dinner? You get your diet reasonably together. Not inside. You haven't paid any attention to what you're eating in your mind and what you're eating in your heart. You're causing complete sickness in there. Start to deal with yourself better. So when the stuff comes up, let it go. Let it go. When new stuff comes in, say thank you. It's hard because you have to change your whole attitude about things. And what will happen over time is your mind will stop being so disturbed. My favorite thing was when somebody come to me and say, you know, I was at work the other day and somebody said something and I didn't even think about it till I went away. And 2 years ago, that would have bothered the hell out of me. I mean, it's just, man, I remember something like that happened. I didn't even notice. Like nothing even happened. I had to remember afterwards that used to bother me. Now that is a spiritual growth. That is a complete transformation of your being, isn't it? That takes place because what I'm talking to you about. That takes place because you're willing to let go of the garbage you stored inside, and you're willing to appreciate and respect the fact that you're conscious and experiences are happening, you get to experience them, and you're saying, I can handle this, I can handle, that's your mantra. Not do I want it, not do I like it. No, that's not your mantra anymore. Can I handle this? I can handle it, I can handle it. And what will happen is you'll find yourself cleansing, and all of a sudden things won't bother you as much. That's the one thing that will happen. You will not get as disturbed. You will be able to live in this world and not be freaked out by it. And because you're not freaked out by it, you won't worry about it. You worry now because everything freaks you out. You worry something's going to freak you out. And all of a sudden the future will look, you won't even think about your future. Why? My present's fine. My past is fine. The future will take care of itself. It's called liberating yourself. You're a free being. That's one thing that will happen. Then another thing will happen. You just have to take my word for it. You will start to feel a joy like you've never felt before, for absolutely no reason. It doesn't take someone to come up and say something to you. It doesn't take you in winning anything. It doesn't take getting an A on the test. It doesn't take anything. Just all of a sudden you're driving down the road and you just get high. Naturally. You just feel all this joy well up inside of you, like waves of enthusiasm and joy and creativity. And it starts happening more and more and more. And you wake up in the morning and that's what you feel instead of in the doldrums. And you start getting high. Why? Because you are high. You in there, the consciousness, is the highest thing that has ever walked the face of the earth. But you are projecting your consciousness on something that is the lowest thing that ever walked the face of the earth. Your disturbed thoughts and your disturbed mind. So that's it. As you wake up, you realize that when Christ said the kingdom is within you, that's what he's talking about. It's literally, remember I said, are you in there? It's within you. And as you come back to that seat and you start realizing you're a beautiful being. Who? You are. You're a beautiful being. But what you're staring at, I'm not doing so good. So what you need to do is, one, help the lower part of your being by accepting, honoring, respecting, raise it up, liking things instead of not liking things. The weather is going to change. Like it all. Like all the weather. Love rain, love snow, love cold, love hot, love everything. Lest ye be as little children. It is the spiritual state. Lest ye be as little children. It's fun. It's raining. What happened? It was raining and I went to school and my books got all wet. I put them on my head like a tent and I had fun. Okay, kids, come on, let's dry you off. All right? Well, he had a choice. Have fun or don't. You have that choice. Nobody's taking that away from you. You live in there. So center on the seat of being. That's what meditation's about. Center on the seat of your being. You are not your mind. You are not your heart. You are not your body. And you are not the world you're watching. You are the one that's aware of these things. And you are very beautiful. And there's nothing that you ever did that can take away that beauty. No matter, I told you about that light. It could shine on the most broken, putrid, scary thing that ever was for 1,000 years. You move it off, it was never there. It does not take on the qualities of what it's looking at. The self, you, the Atman, the soul, the consciousness, does not take on the qualities of anything it ever did or anything that ever got done to it. It is just the awareness that's aware of those things. That's a nice thing to know, isn't it? There's no karma, not back there. Your mind's full of it, this we're aware of. Your heart can get full of it. But you, the consciousness, are the purest thing that ever was and ever will be. And as you hang out in that state, you will start to experience the beauty of your being, and you will start to let go of this disturbed part of your being. And now your mind will be crystal clear and ready for you to use it any way you want. What about my heart? It will be totally open and able to feel love. You will find that your heart can be so beautiful and so open if you don't resist. And all of a sudden you become a blessing on the earth. So these are the very high spiritual states, and they are also the psychologically healthy states, aren't they? You have to choose what you want to do. Do you want to spend the rest of your life attempting to manipulate and control everybody and everything around you to have it be the way your mind needs it to be so that you can be somewhat better? Because if you succeed, it doesn't matter, because the next moment will come, you have to do it again. Have you noticed? The world keeps changing. All right? So you didn't win anything to get it the way you want. Get your wedding party to be exactly the way you want. Then guess what? The wedding's over. Now what? That's the nature of life. It keeps changing. So instead of wasting your time trying to make everything match your mind to get a rush and make sure it doesn't so you don't get depressed, work on letting go of your identification with the thoughts being created in your mind and with the feelings out of your heart, and just be you. Work on being you. That's what meditation is about. That's what yoga is about. That's what all of spiritual growth is about. Find the seat of self by relaxing into it and be okay with what you're experiencing. And all of a sudden, every bit of will you put into doing that will be there forever for the rest of your life. Nothing can take it away from you. You become a liberated being. We call it Jivan Mukta, a liberated soul. He's whole and complete within yourself. You're self-effulgent, and you can enjoy life and dance with it, but you don't need anything. You're already experiencing everything you would ever want. That's how I want you to be. Everything you ever dreamt of is going on inside of you all the time. Now go out and share it. Have fun. Have a relationship. Have whatever it is. Do business. Enjoy what's unfolding in front of you. But not because you need anything. Not because it's raising you. You're already as high as they come. That's where I want you. I got high plans for you guys. So next time your parents ask you, well, what do you want to do with your life? It's very simple. I want to enjoy it. I mean, you have a life. You're born, you're going to die. If you don't enjoy the time in between, you wasted your life. Enjoy doesn't mean go out and get drunk and get drugged and run around. That's not enjoying your life. That's trying to enjoy your life. The joy that comes from life is the liberation of your being inside, where you just feel radiant and filled with joy and enthusiasm all the time. Here, you got to sweep the floor. I want to do it. I'll sweep the floor. But you swept it yesterday. Yeah, I want to do it again. I can do better. That's how I want you to be. Just completely enthused, excited, passionate about everything you do. All right. I've tried to communicate to you. So there's two lives you can live. One is yuck, and the other is gorgeous. And it's completely up to you. It's kind of nice. I've empowered you. It's got nothing to do with anybody else. It's got to do with how you're dealing with yourself. All right. Work on these things. Jagrata.